Let's talk about the bill that just passed third reading in the BC legislature that makes it mandatory for all commercial vehicles to have a forward-facing dash cam installed. This is a very interesting bill. It's an interesting bill for lots of reasons. First of all, it was a bill introduced as a private member's bill by a member of the opposition. It passed unanimously in the House, third reading. Once it receives royal assent, it'll come into force within 6 months. It's going to receive royal assent. But the bill is also interesting in what it doesn't do. Obviously, the bill's whole purpose is to require drivers of commercial vehicles, as defined in the commercial vehicle law in BC, to have dash cameras installed forward-facing, and requires that they not be obstructed or interfered with or turned off during the operation of the vehicle. Essentially, if the vehicle's in motion, the camera must be on and recording. But the bill also doesn't answer a lot of questions. It doesn't say what has to happen to the footage, how long it has to be preserved for. Can the footage be constantly overwritten? Not addressed in the bill. It doesn't give any powers, specifically to police or CVSE officers, to search and seize the footage, although there are probably existing commercial vehicle-related laws that allow CVSE officers to do that in some circumstances, but in others, a warrant may be required. It does not require the driver to have the camera facing towards them, because obviously that would raise privacy concerns, concerns about workplace surveillance, concerns that if the police did obtain the footage after an accident, information about the driver that didn't need to be released could be released that had nothing to do with the accident. And it also doesn't, and importantly, create any offenses. So the bill, to some extent, is toothless, because if there's no offense for not complying with the specific provision that requires the camera to be on and not obstructed and working while the vehicle is in motion, then there's nothing technically that could be done under the legislation or under the Provincial Offence Act for not doing it. Now, there are probably offenses in the Motor Vehicle Act and in Commercial Vehicle Safety Acts in British Columbia that you could shoehorn in not complying with the law, but there's not actually a specific offense for it, and you would have to shoehorn it in, which would mean you would have to make essentially a statutory interpretation argument that it's meant to include that provision. So the bill is odd, because it creates a significant obligation, but it provides absolutely no enforcement powers for that obligation. Interesting to see where this goes. We'll be watching it.